Hey everybody, Bones here, Bones Garage, bringing you update what's going on at the garage. So, 2011 FatBoy, Harley Davidson, the one that Halo rides in. Yes, this is that bike. We are doing some maintenance. We are actually changing the compensating sprocket and the alternator rotor. Getting rid of the old style one and putting a new, better one in, because the old one, which is right here, this is your compensating sprocket. This is the drum for the bevelly springs. And you can see there a beveled spring right there. It's a bimetal spring and it's beveled. And you can actually see that the bevels are starting to go away. So what was happening is these sit inside this drum, and then this assembly goes upside down and sits on top of these springs. And what I'll do is I'll just take them out and set them right here, just like that. Now, when the clutch is let out, this will spin. And as it spins, it will push the compensating sprocket. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the sprocket right here going up and down on these gears. And as it does, it pushes on these springs and softens the clutch. So when you let it out, there's no chatter in the clutch. And you'll see that this compensating sprocket is ramped, and its mating surface here is also ramped. So that is a compensating sprocket for a Harley, and that's what it does. You see how it goes up and down there? Well, it's worn out, it's no good, it's not working anymore. So we ended up going to Harley Davidson and picking up a new Screaming Eagle compensating sprocket, which gives you better clutches or springs for it, and a better compensating sprocket setup for that. And all that has to go in. Plus it also gives you a new alternator rotor, and the rotor is right here. This sits on the end of the crankshaft of the motor, and it spins inside a bunch of coils here. And as the magnet spins in these coils, it creates electricity, which gives you your alternator and gives you your electricity. So that's what we're doing to that primary. We are also changing the tensioner shoe on it, which is right here, and that will tension the chain, which is this primary drive chain right here. And that primary drive chain goes right there on the clutch basket, and that's what that is. That's the clutch basket. That's the flywheel, which is the starter wheel. The starter actually engages into there and turns this, which turns this chain, which turns this compensating sprocket, which turns this crankshaft, which turns the pistons and moves them up and down. Spark comes in, fuel comes in, fires, boom, you got a running motor. And then this is your transmission shaft, the input shaft for your transmission. And that's where the clutch basket goes on to. So there you go. Quick description of what we're doing right here and why. And that's why we are changing the shoe, because it's worn. It's not terrible, but it's not great. So we'll just change it, being that we have it all apart, get it all done. We're also putting new front and rear tires. We put a new tire on the sidecar, and then we also changed the front brake rotor, because the old brake rotor was becoming out of spec. It was getting too thin. The thickness here was getting too thin. After a while, all the friction makes a little, and you can feel that lip right there. So it just keeps eating away at the metal. Thins it out, thins it out, thins it out. At some point, you got to change them or they will not work correctly. The brake handle will be low and you will not get as good a brake feeling. So there you go. That's what we're doing. This is a really nice setup from Screaming Eagle. The crank nut now has a Torrington bearing in it. The old one did not, and this is a Torrington bearing. That's what that's called. It's a bearing. Sits right here on that little shim there. This goes through there and locks everything down. This then sits in here, and it gets these run on these ramps now. These spokes right here run on those ramps. Then this all sits inside here for the springs, and as this pushes this, it pushes on the spring and gives you tension. So there you go. That's basically a quick lesson on how all this stuff works. Alrighty guys, I will talk to you in a little bit. Have a good one. Okay, bye.